Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. 9 years ago last night, the Cavs did the unthinkable. They came back from that 3-1 hole, and they beat the best team the NBA has ever seen in the regular season, at least statistically, 73 wins. How do you guys remember the 9 years since the Cavs title?
First, the most iconic moment to me was the block by LeBron, of course, because I don't know that there's another player that could have made that play.
Right.
I mean, it was just, when you see the replay of the block, it's like, how did he get there to make that play? But, I mean, since we were just saying during the 2 breaks ago, like, it's hard to believe it's been 9 years. It doesn't really feel that long ago. I just will always remember the day of the parade. I went up to the top of the county office building, which is East 9th and Prospect, and standing on top of that building, seeing a massive humanity on East 9th from 90 all the way to the lake.
That we'd never seen in Cleveland.
I was like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's how thirsty we were.
It was just.
Phones didn't work, but it was fun.
Yeah, nobody was getting cell service on that day. How do you remember it?
A few things. I think from the game itself, I know the block is big. It was the shot.
Really?
It was the shot for me. I mean, Steph is Steph. You know, Kyrie has always had ice in his veins. That was like one of the biggest shots ever. But I remember, I'm a diehard. I'm from here. Me and Jay can relate to things like this. Even at that age, I thought it's a strong chance I'm going to die before I ever see my city win a championship. I just remember crying after Kevin Love get the lockdown. I stay out in Euclid. I run in my truck. I drive a Chevy Avalanche at the time. And I jump on the freeway, and horns is honking, people riding downtown. The closer I get to downtown, the traffic is wild, it's crazy.
Gridlock coming in.
Gridlock. Somewhere as you're getting off that exit ramp, I kind of jumped out of my truck. I left my friends there. They're like, well, you can't leave your truck here. Y'all figure it out. So I started running up Lakeside. I worked at the Justice Center at the time. So I'm trying to get to like West 3rd, West 6th. Running up Lakeside, people was having a good time, high-fiving and all this crazy stuff. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I'm somewhere on West 6th and I run into my dad and my uncle. Just out partying.
Randomly, they were there too.
While I'm out partying, just randomly. Now, at this time, I serve as supervisor in Earl B. Turner Clerk of Court's office. The next day, I called my boss, Joyce, we miss you. I said, before I said anything, she laughed. She says, I knew you wasn't coming.
I was waiting for this call.
I said, yeah, it wasn't happening. So it was the shot for me, but then just being out and then running to my dad and being able to experience that moment together.
Man, I'll never forget it. I was here. ESPN said, do you want to be in California or do you want to be in Cleveland? I said, put me in Cleveland because they're going to win. And I want to be in my city when they win it. I've got to be there. Earlier in the day, I'd flew my son in, who was at Rutgers, just outside New York City, training for the Olympic trials. I said, this is completely up to you. I know that this is the most important week of your life because the trials were 1 week away. He'd just come off the NCAA championship. I said, it's up to you. If you want, I'll have a ticket waiting for you at LaGuardia. You can fly in, take in a Indians game because they played that afternoon. We'll watch the Cavs game from the queue, and then we'll celebrate until you have to leave the next morning on your flight. He's like, I'm coming, Dad. My dad had told me when he passed, I said, my biggest regret was we never got to enjoy a championship together. I was born the year before the year after the Browns won their championship. He said, Jay, you'll get one. It won't be with your dad. It will be with your son. And I want you to make a promise. Whatever you're doing in your life, it's not as important as spending that time with Corey. Whatever Corey's doing in his life, it's not as important as spending that time with you because you might only get one. So be together. So in that moment, when the clock hit 0, Corey and I were in the plaza, jumping up and down, hugging. And I just looked at video of this because as soon as the game was over, they took the wide shot of the pavilion, of the plaza. And we didn't know who it was. There were 3 of us jumping. It was me, Corey, and some guy that neither one of us knew. It was a black guy. And we look at the video now and we're like, oh, my God, we still don't know who that guy is. Somewhere there's a fan out there that you were celebrating with me and my son. As the dust was clearing later that night and I felt my dad's presence with us, I said, who was that guy? I don't know. And now I think, whoever it was, my dad was inside his body. I don't know who it was. It was just some random guy that just saw us celebrating and we're all jumping up and down. That night, I saw black guys hugging white cops on 9th. I saw people walking on other people's car hoods, and the people were beeping and waving and laughing at them. Things I never thought I'd see. Sports can bring people together.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Jay has always reported on the news. There was no murders that night. There was no murders
Can you
the
believe
next
that?
day. There was no murders in the city of Cleveland the day after that. The violence was really, really low.
And I know you've got a memory.
Real quick, my biggest regret was not going to the parade because I didn't want to get fired from my job at GNC, only to get laid off when I went back to college 2 months later.
Man.
I should have gone. That's what I remember the most about it, was missing the parade for that. But hey, it's been a great show, guys. Have a great